This is why. This is why I don't trust this man. Hi, my name is Lacey, and welcome to my recap of episode 2 of Temptation Island, season 5. I've already recapped episode 1, so if you haven't caught up yet, go watch that one and then come right back here. Welcome back! And if you like my content, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, all those things. Let's get into it. So we are still at the party. Maricela and Christopher are chatting about how he brought up her business in front of everybody at the party. And she's upset, and he does apologize, and he said, it's not my business, I shouldn't have done that. But it's like too late now. You can't put the cat back in the bag, you know? It's done. Everybody knows. It's on TV, bro. So Mark comes in and kicks out all the singles, and he has one more discussion with the couples before they have to separate. Caitlin says that she's jealous and she's worried that Hall is going to act like a kid in a candy store and act up, which it's pointing toward. Paris says that she's kind of feeling Tajik, and Great is not happy about that. She says that she gets butterflies and her leg tingles, so Great is not great. Vanessa calls herself a baby cougar. Girl, bye. And Christopher and Maricela bring again up what he said in front of everybody, and he apologizes again, but it's kind of like she's scared because she doesn't know how everybody's gonna react because nobody knows, and now they're gonna. Thanks, Christopher. The couples are given a couple more minutes to have a one-on-one conversation before they have to separate. Maricela and Christopher, they're both sad. They say they have no words. Christopher says how critical he's been and how hard he's been on her, but he says that he trusts her and he loves her and he's sorry for being so hard and critical of her. Vanessa and Roberto. Vanessa says she questions Roberto's actions versus his words, but he promises to not disrespect her, and she says that she actually trusts him, and he's like, wow, this is the first time you've actually said that you trust me. What? Great and Paris are chatting. Paris says that if Great moves on anybody, that she's out. And he says, hey, that goes both ways. And she's like, yeah, but I wasn't the one who cheated on you when we were in a relationship. So maybe not be a hypocrite. Maybe? But Great is upset, and he thinks that Paris is kind of gone already. And honestly, I hope so, because I don't like Great. Caitlin and Hall. Hall says that he doesn't want any more doubts in their relationship. However, he is ready to marry her, and he loves her. I don't know. His words and actions in this with the singles say a different story. So we shall see. I'll believe it when I see it, Hall. I think that boy's gonna get up to no good, to be honest. At the guys' place, the single girls are back, and the guys are mingling and having a great time. Michaela and Hall are hitting it off, and he calls her way too beautiful to be single, and why are you here? Ugh. She used to be in a 6-year relationship, and she has been single for 3 years now. She's looking for a soulmate, and he calls her a kind person and easy to talk to. They're both family oriented. Christopher says he plans on being the big bro to everybody and being more of a therapist and not moving into romantic relationships. High hopes for you. But he also says that he's into Abby because she's independent and that is sexy as fuck. The single guys come to see the girls, and they're talking and having a good time, and they ask like, hey, what are your red flags? What do you need, in a roommate? Because we're all gonna be living together. So like, what do you guys need? Vanessa goes on this list of like, I don't know, 20 to 30 rules. Like she just tick, 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 tick. No this, no this, no this, and the guys are just like, even the other women were just like, okay. She expects a lot. Rob, run. The main couples now, the main cast, has to come into the same room together, and the guys and the girls are gonna pick their dates in front of their exes. So the singles line up like a buffet. And then the guys and the girls are sitting there looking at the display of beautiful people to choose from. The girls get to go first. Vanessa picks Bryce, and Roberto, for his part, is just like, hey, just make sure to be a gentleman. Have fun. Maricela picks Christian. Christopher says he's not worried. Caitlin picks Michael because she says he's fun and genuine. Paris picks the other Christian, and great is not great. I'm just gonna keep saying that because it's appropriate. Now it's the men's turn. Rob picks Marjorie, and Vanessa gives massive side eye. She doesn't even know this girl. Chris picks Alexius. Hall, when it's Hall's turn, he goes, I want them all. This is why. This is why I don't trust this man. This is why Hall's on my list. But he ends up picking Michaela because they were hitting it off already. And Great picks Nafisa. And Paris is not happy with this because she says Nafisa's attitude is bad. I didn't really see that yet, but okay. I think Paris is just nervous. And then Vanessa gets all butthurt about Rob picking Marjorie and saying that Marjorie has a bad attitude. And it's like, Vanessa, are you just talking about yourself? Are you looking in the mirror? But Marjorie just says, hey, if somebody's not jealous, that means you ain't popping, so, And Vanessa shuts up, and I love it. At the guy's house, there is a pool party happening, and you know nothing good happens at pool parties. Abby is talking to Christopher and is like, hey, why didn't you pick me for the date? I thought we were vibing. Like, is something up? Like, was I misreading that? And Christopher essentially says that he was just scared of choosing her because of their connection. And so he picked somebody that he didn't have a good connection with. And so Abby's like, okay, I see that. But next time you're going to pick me. Otherwise, no. And he's like, yeah, I know. The villa then turns into like a strip show with the guys just sitting in 4 chairs and all the girls just like twerking and dancing and doing splits and just like butts and lap dances. And I'm like, okay, this is Temptation Island. They did not mislabel the show. The guys are loving it. Butts. I think the girls are trying too hard to impress the guys, to be honest, but hey, if you want to twerk, you twerk it. Nafisa is mad at Great because he's dancing with Tammy. And he picked Nafisa for the date. So she's like, hey, I thought we were connecting and vibing. You picked me for the date. So why aren't you dancing with me? Like, why aren't we still connecting? Like, why aren't we, before we go on the date? He doesn't really have a good answer. He says it's day 1 to calm down. I don't like these guys. Tia is dancing with Roberto and they're having a good time. And Roberto then later says that he feels like he's always apologizing for Vanessa and he's always protecting her and from other people, even when he doesn't believe that he should be, even though Vanessa's wrong most of the time. So I feel bad for this guy because she steamrolls him, and it is clear that he needs to get out of that. He then, and I'm wondering if this is just because Roberto was drunk, but he gets really emotional and really aggro, and he's like, don't talk over me, and he stands up at the pool, and he's just like, I don't feel heard, and it's just like, oh wow, he's got a lot of baggage with Vanessa. Like, she doesn't let him have any sort of identity. So this is going to be interesting to see him find himself through this process and hopefully detach himself from Vanessa's clutches. That night at the girls' villa, Vanessa is talking to Bryce and she's like, hey Bryce, I don't want you to think that my outbursts are normal. I think we've been with her for 40 something minutes, right? Most of that time was outbursts and aggro. So I think it's the norm. Bryce, buckle in. The girls are playing more of like a truth or dare sort of game as opposed to the guys who just had like butts in their faces and lap dances. So they're playing a truth or dare. And we only get a snippet of this and we hear that Tajik's number 1 is Paris. So hopefully maybe there's something there. And that Bryce has slept with 93 people. Vanessa's not happy about that. She says, oh, I thought he was this innocent, blah, 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 blah. Vanessa's standards are just too much. But 93 is a lot, so. Maricela tells, I forget one of the guys, which one it was, but one of the guys, that she will be loyal to Christopher until she sees otherwise at the bonfire. I hope Maricela gets out of that relationship too. They just seem very, that's the codependent one who have only been like apart from each other 11 days for 2 years or something like that. The guys are on their dates and they're going snorkeling. And Great and Nafisa are hitting it off. And Great says in his confessional that he's actually more attracted to Nafisa because Paris was so jealous of her. So it's like, oh, you're jealous? I'm going to lean into that and screw you. So, I don't like Great. And Nafisa, I hope Nafisa puts him in his place because I see him moving mad, and I hope Nafisa throws down. Marjorie and Roberto are on their date, and Marjorie's pretty much like, we're just friends. And Roberto's like, okay. So there's nothing there, even though Vanessa put up like a fit about him picking Marjorie on the date and she has a bad attitude and all that, but there's nothing there, so it's fine. They're friends. And then Roberto says, okay, well, maybe my next date will be with Desiree because he's kind of interested in knowing her. Caitlin is on a date with Michael, and she's basically telling him how much she misses the romance. And afterward, she's surprised at how much she confided in him and opened up about things and her emotions. And then we have Hall and Michaela. Michaela only is interested in Hall. She wants to get married and have a family, and she says she's very picky. And Hall says that it was Caitlin's decision to not get married and that he does want to get married to her. So I'm wondering where this is going to go because the flirt is strong with these two. The seeds have been planted. And hopefully next episode, we will reap the rewards and receive the drama. Let's get it. I drink it up. What do you think of Temptation Island Season 5 so far? Who are your favorites? Do you have any least favorites? Are you as annoyed with Vanessa as I am? Like, for real? Tell me down below. I want to hear what you think. And if you're into more dating shows, I'm also recapping Love Island Summer 2023 UK, the LGBTQ plus dating show Love Always, and The Big D, which comes on right after Temptation Island on Peacock. So if you're into those, go check out my playlists and catch up on those recaps. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.